Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of the regular meetings of the bulletin board in the municipal building and providing a copy of the annual notice of the regular meetings for the year 2016 to the Glen Ridge Paper, the Glen Ridge Voice, the Montclair Times, and to the Star Ledger on Tuesday, January 5th, 2016, and by filing said notice in the office of the municipal clerk. Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Hughes.
Present.
Sovich.
Here.
Councilperson Lefkowitz is absent. Councilperson Dawson.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
Mayor Patrick's present. Mr. Mayor, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mike. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the August 8th, 2016 meeting?
Second.
Thank you, Fred. Any comments on or corrections on those minutes? That's it. First, please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes. Sovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The motion is carried.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have correspondence from the county executive on September 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Essex County Richard Cody Arena. It's going to be the Essex County Senior Wellness Day. On Saturday, October 1st, at the Public Works Center at 125 Fairview Avenue in Cedar Grove. It's going to be Household Hazardous Waste Day. And finally, on October 15th, at the same location, the County Recycling Day for Computer and Electronics. However, the borough is also going to have a computer and electronics recycling center at the town yard the week before. And that concludes correspondence.
This is the time for comments from the public. Jackie?
Jackie Eustine, 326 Washington Street, and I'm delighted to present Deborah Collins, who will be the county liaison to Glen Ridge, and you're in very good hands. She is the Deputy County Administrator and the Director of Small Business Development, and she's had many successful conferences and with small business development, and I will let her tell you about herself.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. For the record, I'm Deborah Collins, Director of Small Business Development and Affirmative Action for the County of Essex. I'm also, of late, and this is a most recent appointment, Deputy County Administrator to County Administrator Ralph Chilella. So it's my pleasure to appear before you this evening and going forward. I am a resident of Glen Ridge and have been so since 2006. And for a brief spell, I actually served on your Board of Adjustment until the county executive assigned me additional duties which required me to step down. But I'm very delighted to be here. I've worked with Mr. Rohal in connection with our Small Business Development Initiative. In fact, I have some information about that this evening, and I'll leave you with some flyers as well, Mr. Rohal. Actually, on September 29th, the county executive and the Board of Chosen Freeholders will be presenting, in conjunction with our office, a digital marketing workshop from 9 o'clock a.m. until 11 at McClune's Boathouse Restaurant. And the topics include key elements of an effective digital marketing strategy, websites that are most useful for businesses, internet marketing approaches for businesses with a small budget for advertising costs, and tips on creating a blog or profile for your business. I also have a publication, several copies in fact, that I will leave with Mr. Rohal from our Parks Department. This one in particular is called Let's Play, Your Guide to Events, Activities, and Facilities of the Essex County Park System. My former colleague, Jackie Eustine, did mention that I was the Maplewood liaison for quite some years. I actually moved here from New York to Maplewood and spent about 10 years there before moving to Glen Ridge. So I do have experience as a liaison, and I'm very happy to be able to serve you. Do give me a call. I will leave my cards with Mr. Roja on any issue that you may have concerning the county. And if you have any questions or concerns at this time, I'd be happy to take them back to the county executive or my colleagues. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name's Adam Lopez. I live on 56 Sommer Avenue, and I'm actually here with a couple of our neighbors who also live on Sommer Avenue. And there's a growing concern that there are a tremendous amount of break-ins. And I think, I'm probably speaking for a lot of people that are living in that neighborhood, that it's become very uneasy. We have kind of requested that there be an increased police presence in the area. Obviously, we moved here 2 years ago, and when we first moved in, the first year was fantastic. There was, not many reportings, and in this past year, there's been what seems like one every week of a break-in on, not only in our neighborhood, but on Sommer Avenue. So it's concerning for us. Like I said, we've been here, this is our second year, and we're already concerned about, looking for another place to live. And it's not really something I want to do. We love this town. We love, the neighborhood, the people, everything's been amazing. And, you move here for two reasons. Obviously, the town's beautiful, but the school system's fantastic, and it's a safe town, and it's obviously close to the city. So, once you take one of those things away, it becomes a lot less desirable for us. So that's really our issue, is that we want to be a little bit safer in our neighborhood, which obviously is very close to East Orange, and that becomes an issue in itself, that a lot of people are just walking right over and breaking into these houses. So I just wanted to bring that issue up in the hopes that the police presence is a little bit more increased, because I think that the ratio of crimes that are occurring on the south end is a little bit higher than the north end, or pretty much, throughout the entire town. I don't know if you guys wanted to say anything on that. I know that they prepared a lot of data, but I think that, it's kind of ad nauseum to hear all the stats that you probably already know, but we feel like it's kind of gotten worse over the past year.
Did you share that data with the police department that you collected, or is that where the data came from?
It's probably where the data came from. I'm more of the spokesperson, and they're the analysts of this meeting, so.
It came from the police water, from the police themselves. It seems as if there's something happening at least twice a week. Yes.
My wife, Leah.
Yeah, it just seems that there's something happening at least twice a week. I'm sure all of you here have read the police blotters. The police do come and they patrol the area, but it seems as if they're patrolling at the wrong times. Like, no one's breaking into the houses at 7:30 p.m. with all the lights on. Everything's happening overnight, and everything's getting reported in the morning. I work from home a lot, so do I, and we see them driving midday, but there's no activity occurring midday. If you
They'll
look
break
through
into the house while you're inside the house at night while sleeping.
Exactly. I know it's the vehicles, and a lot of the vehicles are being unlocked.
So it's cars that are being broken into, or the...
Well, now there's houses. So that's why we wanted to come tonight, because it did start out as just unlocked cars. And that's just foolishness. Like, you could prevent that very easily.
Yeah, sure.
But now the last two reports that I've seen, people are getting broken into from the back entrances. A lot of those houses have sunrooms in the back, and they're coming in through the back door, and it's just really alarming.
I think that's probably a major issue. But, we love the sunroom.
Right.
But it's just one of those things where now we really are looking to.
How many times have you guys been broken into?
We haven't personally, but we're here because we're concerned that we are going to get broken
Okay, so you
into.
think you're next.
Well, yeah, it's happening on our street, so how can you not think that way?
I got
3
it.
houses on our street.
I live around the corner from you. and this-
Yeah,
Yeah, we've met you before.
Sure.
Have any of you or your neighbors worked with the police department to do a survey of your homes and to give you suggestions on how?
Well, one of the things that they actually said to us is that they're not the Glen Ridge Border Patrol, which is just comical to me, because that's your job to serve all of Glen Ridge. Just because it's in the south end, that should be more of a reason to be Border Patrol, because people from outside are coming in, and there's only so much that we could do. They just walk right in, they come in on their bikes. If you read the reports, and they jet right back out to go back home. So,
Yeah, we've
I get-
reported a number of things that we've seen, and she's reported 2 things that ended up turning
being
into
into
arrests.
arrests. So one
Just not wrong,
person
which is-
was trying to roll something on the back of my car. I don't know why, but they got arrested, and then another woman, she parked her car, tried to break into every single car, and then proceeded to drag her
And this
little
was
baby
at
son,
10 a.m. in the morning.
drag her little baby son to try and break into houses. So that was in broad daylight. So just if we could try and increase the police presence, just in general, it doesn't need to be any particular hour, but specifically at night, that would make us sleep a little easier.
The break-ins have been happening, during work hours, so like 11 o'clock.
And at night.
At night too, but recently the last 2 house break-ins happened during, work hours. I think one was 11 a.m. and the other one was like 2 o'clock or something.
Jack, do you think it's one accurate, or do you think it's,
Hi.
Hi.
Well, everybody looks familiar, Chief Shields, from the police department. We
Hi.
do actually have patrols going 24/7 all over town. We do actually pay even more attention to the south end of town. Numbers speak for themselves.
Yep.
I was just double checking with my lieutenant who's at work now. We did have 2 burglaries in August, and one was on Summer Avenue, and one was up in the north end, so and there's a whole burglaries. The car burglaries we've been having trouble with, as everybody knows, all summer.
Yeah.
And we know it's burglars, whether it's from, whether they're going to a house or a car, or recidivists. They're looking for the easiest target. One of the things I really would like to do, because we just worked on this problem with residents of High Street, which is just north of Belmont.
Yeah.
We started a neighborhood watch, and it has done not only wonders for the crime numbers on High Street, because we were experiencing a nighttime burglary problem, but also for the neighbors to be able to start going, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And for everybody to start saying, let me call, because you're one of the few people that does call. People are usually very hesitant unless they can recognize, okay, this is something that's going wrong. They have that innate problem saying,
Agreed.
well, headquarters, because what if I'm wrong and somebody says that they were doing something wrong? You also should know for sure that we do have officers at night, not in marked cars. So you may not think that they're there. I promise you that they're only the same numbers, more than 24 hours a day. And we do drive into areas where we're having issues. We've got officers on bicycles. We've got officers stopping people on bicycles. I'm going to say over the summer, one of the things we noticed is that many of the people that we were picking up were riding bicycles into town. And it's obvious,
Yeah.
right? I mean, Friday, it's very dark all over town. And we've actually had some good numbers with bringing in people that were riding bicycles in here to make crimes. So what I'd love to do here, with your permission, is have my crime prevention officer reach out to you, and let's get a meeting going so that not only can we talk about whether or not we want to do a neighborhood watch, I know a lot, but also to give you good solid information so that there's good facts out there. This is the house, here's the MO, this is the way they got in, this is what we experienced. Glen is a bedroom community, and our experience is that most of our burglaries take place during the daytime, and front door kicking is our number one now. But it's different everywhere, right? Each house is different. A lot of times we get the burglar that rings the front doorbell and nobody answers, or we're on the back. So that's another big one. I think we can even talk to your neighborhood about what we always experience in Glen Ridge. We'll have more people saying, that's the suspicious activity that they talk about. The dog barking, the person ringing the bell and going on back. And we need to get more phone calls. And then we got 50-50. We got patrol, and of course, patrol in uniform and march car, patrol in non-march car. And we also have the neighborhood saying, we're not putting up with this anymore. Let's make sure that we all stand together as a group and form a neighborhood watch.
I agree with you. And speaking on some of my neighbors who do call more frequently, I know that they've told me that the police ask them, well, what are they doing? We know who lives on our street, so it's very obvious. We all talk to each other.
Sure.
They shouldn't be asking us why are they suspicious? Like, we're calling for a reason. You guys tell us to call when there's an issue, so I think it would go a little bit further if they just came down as soon as possible, rather than keeping us on the phone to say, well, it's a guy on a bike.
With a book bag.
Yeah,
Why do we have to come
wearing a
out?
do-rag. I mean, so.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is we started a neighborhood watch on High Street and we made an arrest on that.
We did.
Right?
Definitely neighborhood watches.
We want to work together.
She's the neighborhood watch right there.
Chris O'Neill from 48, I'm sure I would make it way back, actually. I've been living here since 1996. Went to high school here, went through here, so I've been here a very long time. And I've seen it change, and I know the police lately maybe been a little more aggressive in being able to stop what they did, and that was fine. But I think the neighborhood watch is great. I think the attention is great, but I think there needs to be some effort here to bring it into this day and age. Watches were great in 1980, but now we can put cameras in. We can put little patrol areas. They have little sub-units that you could put in areas that you could have there for amount of time. There's different things you can do to kind of pick up, I think, a presence someplace. So, I would like to challenge it to maybe bring into this day and age. I know we have little gas lights and lanterns here that aren't helping much, but we need some more deterrents for people not to come in here, not to just have we're actually thinking about getting together and getting private security. If we got 200 houses around in the area of $500 a person, we can get our own half-time, part-time security. These are the things that are going to happen if we don't get into this day and age. And I don't think that's great. I don't think this is where this town has come from that needs to go. There's beautiful houses in East Orange and the Oranges that have started to fall down and come down to why they're not these great cities anymore, or towns anymore. And I think we're on that path if we don't do something about it.
I've worked with the police, I've done fingerprinting, my car got broken into, the rims tried to get ripped off my car, the whole thing. So I've worked with them, we came in, we did whatever, they dusted, the whole thing. I have a 12-week-old baby at home. I'm really not trying to have my, my house broken into, and it's really just, and there's a lot of young families, there's a lot of older people. My other concern is that I would say more than half of our street works from home every day, and this is still happening. So that, to me, there's people outside all day, every day, and this is still going on. So they don't care. They're going to find a way in. They're going to find a way to get where they need to be. I've been home now on maternity leave. I'm a crazy person looking out the window. Every time I see something now, I'm like, oh my gosh, because my car got broken into. And, my rims, and I had to go through insurance. It's a whole thing. It's a whole process. So, it's just concerning, I think, as a person living here, and I know but I think that's really what it comes down to. So I do agree that maybe, I get the whole car patrolling thing. Do they ever do, like, walking at night on our street? All the time.
Plain clothes, not even in uniform, and I think I heard one of the residents, or Mr. O'Neill, say that you're concerned about the times, believe me, we all do have cameras. We have to be careful where we put them, because you can't have a camera, a surveillance camera pointing into someone's home. We really don't want to.
No, and here's the deal. You can put a security camera on my house any day of the week, and I think my whole entire street would say you can put a camera on our house, and we would sign a waiver and whatever, because that's where we're at right now. So we have a huge group coming on the 27th, so we can continue to come and we continue to talk, but it's something, people, we can get our own security cameras, but for the amount of taxes we pay, that's it. So, and it happened to me, so, I'm the first one that can speak and say, I went through it, and I worked with the police, and they were fine, but, I just think people are getting away with it, which is why they keep doing it.
Completely, we hear the frustration.
Yeah.
I think that the first step is to get together with the block, and let's all pull together and say, this is what's happening here, what can we do about it? It may sound like it's old school police work, but I know that works the best.
The deterrent, I guess is what I'm saying. More than, I don't think they're fake cameras or whatever there is. Just some, they obviously have reason they don't really care if you're home or not home. They're doing it at 10 a.m. So there needs to be a deterrent,
And I've called on my neighbor's house multiple times because they're older and the man is very, very ill. Somebody tried to break into their basement window. I have called and they didn't get them. They ran. I could only do so much. I saw kids climbing a tree one day. Then they tried to get into their house too. I try to watch, but I also try not to profile. I try not to be that person. But it's coming down to the point where every time now this person doesn't live on the street. Hi, police. What are we doing? And they should be able to walk on our street. They should not be able to walk, but it's becoming an issue.
And is this a seasonal thing? It happens less in the wintertime, or it doesn't really matter?
I think the summer is definitely kicked it up.
Yeah,
A lot.
I agree.
I don't recall anything happening in the winter, but that's not to say that nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't think we were as noticeable to it.
Also, more windows are open, more people are out, winter slows down for sure. And some of it is national statistics.
Of course.
Things that are really particular
Yeah, the kids are out of school. This is what they're doing. Yeah. And they did catch one person. I guess he's an issue. He's always around. I think he has some learning disabilities. He always goes around to try to get change. I'm sure you're probably familiar with him. They did catch him at one point on our street, getting into houses and cars and whatever.
We also arrested a juvenile 2 weeks ago. We don't always see in the bottom of the juveniles because we do not get that information.
Of course.
When they're under 18 and
Yep.
they're arrested. But I guess I can assure you, we're extremely aggressive in areas.
Of course.
Theft and burglary is one of our number one concerns, but problems in town that we're always on top of. We have a security camera program. We've asked residents to let us know if they have cameras so that we can ask them to look at footage when something does happen.
Yeah, my neighbor has that, and we have seen people, but no one's ever caught. I mean, they're just never caught because they come back and.
Definitely caught. If you look at our arrest numbers, we are catching people. We're catching burglars, we're arresting burglars. I think this is one of the best reasons we should have neighborhood watch meetings because we don't know how good they go. You just have, if everybody gets when they go, oh my God, this is happening to me and I'm scared. I prefer to get out the real story of here's what's happening on your block, here's who we have caught. If they're over 18, you can see their phone, it was all public information. And that way, everybody gets a little bit more education in school on, hey, this is exactly what's going on. When I see this, I know this is coming. So believe me, I hear your frustration. If any one of our officers or dispatchers have ever said anything to offend anybody, that I can apologize for them, but we are looking for every kind of patrol. Our police officers work 24/7. They will find your cat. They will
Of course.
save your life.
Of course.
Anything for you. And that's just the way they're trained.
No, they're great. Nothing about that. I just think that the people that are doing it just have no fear. I really, truly believe that. That's the scary part, so.
Certainly the brazenness is increased, having lived on Douglas Road growing up and having the house broken into and having my mom hit over the head with a flashlight by a burglar. I mean, this is an ongoing thing, and it is cyclical. It does happen. We live in a town that borders Orange, East Orange, in certain sections that other towns that aren't necessarily the best sections of those neighborhoods. It is what it is. In defense of the Greenwich Police Department, they do a wonderful job. We have a wonderful Greenwich Police Department. And, can they do more? That's why she's asking you to
Of course.
reach out to the folks that live in your neck of the woods and organize a meeting with the police department to see if there's anything more of that collectively, because it's a collective.
Of course.
It's just not the Greenwich Police Department. We can't expect them to be everywhere, on every street at every hour of the day. But what we can do is work with them. So there's things that I do at my house. For example, I have an alarm system. I have a dog. I have lights that go on, motion detector lights behind the house. So I have all this stuff.
Yep.
Because I've lived here all my life. I expect something to happen, and thankfully nothing has happened yet. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe these deterrents have, scared off some actors. But yeah, I mean, it's not about pointing the finger at the Greenwich Police Department and saying, hey, you guys aren't doing enough. I mean, we really want to be all that we can be. But like I said, for me, I'm a little more proactive than perhaps the next guy. But and it's wonderful that the chief is offering that out to the community.
No, we'll definitely, I'm sure everyone on my street will take it, so I'm not concerned about that at all, so.
Absolutely. And we can just, before you guys leave, give us a number that we can call.
Sure.
And we'll set it up. And it won't just be neighborhood watch. I think there's lots of other things we can do too.
Yeah.
In the neighborhood, or just on the texting with my lieutenant, you're just getting the numbers, because he just did UCR today. Cars seems to be the problem. Our car numbers were 11 over the summer, so that's a biggie. We're always going to keep coming back. As simple as us, and we do put it in the newspaper every week. Lock your cars, that's the best deterrent.
Of course.
When they can't get in the car, and sometimes they set off the car alarm, when they can't get up in, they move on, or they create that visual where somebody sees that they're suspicious of the officer just happens to ride by. Believe me, 35 years, we don't walk by burglars just out of it. It's not happenstance, right? It's got to be like you put the circumstances together and then do police work to catch a crime in progress. And all of our crimes in progress, 99.9% of them come from a resident calling and saying something's not right, and then we act.
Yep.
I wish it was as easy just to say that, we're seeing them in front of us. We're not.
Yeah. No, of course, it's people who are on at that time, but.
I believe you, the burglars in the 80s were burglars, and that's all they did. Back in the 80s, they had matters. If you were a burglar, you were a burglar. That's all they did. And now we have a really mixed group of criminals. It's just all about
Yeah, I just want to, I appreciate it. We're just looking for some help. Because there was one on the 6th, and then there was one on the week before, and the cars, so we're just kind of like, we better go to a meeting and just kind of bring up that we're nervous. And that's what we are, we're just nervous. So, we're definitely willing to work with you guys and put together all that. I think it's going to help a great deal, but yeah, I mean, just from our point of view, we're just like, somebody please just help us, so we can all feel better, I guess, is really the...
Don't fall into the sense that if you move someplace else, it won't happen unless it's a gated community.
Well, we were going to move out to another county, so that was the next choice, but
Yeah, well, we don't want you to move.
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to working with you.
Thank you for...
So just give us a note, just need one person we can call, and just work it out.
But thanks for coming out.
Thank you for
Thank you for
coming.
having us.
And that's really important, because a
Yeah.
lot of folks wouldn't do what you guys just
Yeah.
did, and we really appreciate you guys coming out.
No, but it's good that you came in.
Yeah, they're all super nice, we see them all the time, that's the first thing I said.
Is there anything else we can do?
Better right now,
We need to do that, and it's good that you did.
No, thank you for taking the time to come and talk to me.
Sorry to elongate the meeting.
No,
We
no,
all know you all want to go.
that's why we're here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Right, have a good evening.
And we do offer that services, our crime prevention service. We do that service over a year. Most people only want it after, but most people are too busy to have that organization. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anybody else that might be heard at this time?
Yes.
Please come up and give your name and your address.
You know, if, because you go up this way?
Hi, Officer Brian. Chief Byron. I'm sorry.
Just got the microphone.
I live next to a captain. Anyway, I'm just, I have an open mic here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Don't make any puns. I'm just here because I had my last appointment with the hip surgeon today, and my hip is healed fine. What happened was I got nudged by a car 2 months ago, and I broke my hip. And the relevance of this, it has to do with I broke my hip in a parking lot. And the reason is, well, one of the reasons I'm getting through the parking lot, among other reasons, is that these sidewalks are really hazardous to me. The sidewalks, I've broken my toes on the sidewalks, and these curb cuts, they say they're for the handicapped, they're hell for blind people. They may be great for wheelchairs, but they're hell for blind people. They've sent me into intersections because you lose the curb. You can't find the curb. Blind people hate them. I don't know why I'm here except to find out, is there anything that can be done to stop people from flattening out these crucial curbs, which let me know that I've crossed into a street, that let me orient to know, okay, I'm straight here, I'm in the middle of the crosswalk. The worst thing you can do is what's being done. Basically flatten them out so I don't know I've stepped into the street, make them round so I don't know which way I'm pointing. I know it's being done everywhere. People in wheelchairs love them. Blind people hate them. And I've avoided them, and in avoiding them, a car was backing up, nudged into me, made me jump away and break my hip. And I'm just saying, I don't know what can be done, except people take it for granted just that you can see, and the world is getting much more hazardous for blind people. And this town, do you want to maybe be the crown jewel of whatever, the town that's enlightened and makes curbs that are designed so wheelchairs, old people, strollers, blind people, everyone can work on them? Do we want to design this? Do we want to do that? Do we want to rise to the occasion? That's what I'm saying. Is there anyone who wants to rise to the occasion? I would love to sit down, let's design it, let's get people together. Aesthetics, make it look beautiful too. Cars, make it maybe so a curb that everyone can love, we can do it. I'm just wondering if anyone wants to rise to the occasion, because I'm willing to. That's, I think, all I want to say. I'm happy for the great attention that I got from Officer Romaine within seconds of me being struck. And I have no complaints of the police department whatsoever, but my complaints is about the town. It's like, it's not just Glen Ridge, it's chronic. It's this blindness to the realities of the blind.
I'm wondering, these curbs are ADA.
Yeah.
Nonsense. No one talked to me.
Yeah.
No one talked to me.
Sir, I'm wondering if there's places where we could help you
I think
in town that where you commute, where you're walking, there's some kind of way we can help assist you.
You're saying the ADA,
Enough about this area.
Well, just to take a
In
step
other
back.
words, there would be some kind of telltale.
Yeah, if I could just address, on the ADA, that's a federal requirement. Municipalities have student paid expensive fines. We're not putting in the ADA
We have to
ramps.
have these.
But what we can do, there's two types of ramps, and we've been moving away, the county has been moving away.
What?
Both the county and the municipality have been moving away from, there's two types of basically ADA curves that are used. One, which the whole intersection is rounded out, which we agree gives, especially somebody that has sight problems, very difficult time staying in the crosswalk. So what we're trying to do is have two-directional ADA aprons now. Also, because we did bring it up at seminars, even at the Center for Advanced Infrastructure, that we're benefiting people, as he said, with ambulatory problems. We're creating problems for those that are vision impaired. So that is something that has been brought up in the engineering community and has been taken up even on the federal level. But I'd be glad to sit down with you to go over some concepts and also going to Councilperson Solage, what areas in the town, or in the county roads, that you find to be problematic.
Yeah, because I did see you, sir, just recently on Highland, actually trying to navigate.
Who?
On Highland Avenue?
Highland's the worst.
Yeah, okay, I saw you recently.
Oh, you've seen me?
Yeah, so I recognize your problems. I just don't know enough about this area, but we could look into this to see if there's some way that we could do something to these intersections that you use most frequently to assist you.
And then Highland Avenue is a good example of the type that was, Bezos Group built in 1997, and that was under an old standard that maybe we could look for, if we could come with a design, go for CDBG grants to replace those. So if we know the problem areas, we could redesign it.
Also, Mike, the raised circles.
Right.
That's to help
That's correct.
seniors.
Forget about it.
That's,
I'm not reading Braille, I'm trying to walk. I don't know those, I don't know this from those. People have told me about these hypothetical red circles.
see, and that creates a problem for people.
Have you ever walked a sidewalk in Glen Ridge? Between the bumps and the sidewalks and the leaves in the fall? Forget about it. It's impossible.
One thing that is helpful, though, is the pedestrians in crosswalks, whereby, and it's slowly coming around, but folks that are in the crosswalk, cars must yield to them. So that hopefully will make it a little bit more safer for you while you're in the crosswalk and not being a target of some car that you can't see. I can't imagine what it must be like for you, and I certainly understand.
Well, and even when I try to do it, I'm like, okay, I think I've just crossed into a curb, right? It's like, no, that's just someone's driveway that felt like a curb. It's like, in other words, if you want to do that, you want to level that out or make it, you have to mandate that this guy's bakery, that guy, every private driveway has to be uniform so it doesn't confuse. You see, it's an impossible task.
It is.
It's an impossible task. Should have left it alone. You really should have left it alone.
You don't get any complaints from me.
Except the construction, whatever, lobby interest, there's no money in it for them. There's no,
But
leaving things
conversely,
well enough alone is not a source of
a
income.
friend of mine who's fell out of a tree as a child, and he's been wheelchair bound ever since, and this has become a godsend to him.
And I would like to sit down with him. We could design something better. Together, we could work together. We could come up with something that we can both agree upon. We put him out on the moon, and that was by making there's lots of factors. We have to consider all the factors and get them home alive. You know, basically, you can't make one size does not fit all. And I don't want something done for me at the expense of someone else. I want the ultimate solution. So but it means let's all get together. What's your need? What's my need? Making things aesthetic. We can do it. It's possible.
Yeah, I think Mr. Rohal certainly, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a willingness to work with you.
Definitely.
Okay?
In Glen Ridge,
Huh?
in areas that, see, these ADA compliant ramps that lead from the sidewalk to the street, some of them have to be redone because they're old and they don't meet the new standards.
What is the new standard?
It's a matter of slope, that the grade is too steep.
Too steep?
Yes.
No.
Believe it or not.
Too shallow.
Well.
No.
And some of them will have to be redone, so.
They're too shallow.
Well, that's something you're going to have to.
I need to feel the curb going down so I know that I'm correctly oriented. If it's too shallow, I'm lost.
Because you can't tell.
Because I can't tell. It's called proposensory sense. Now, aside from the sense of sight, you know, you feel your feet going down, that gives you a sense of it. I need to feel something so I know that I'm at a right angle, that I'm between the crosswalk. Now, tell me that proposensory has occurred in any of these documents. It has not, but it's crucial to blind people. You level these things out, and it just makes me utterly confused.
It's horrible.
Huh?
I said it must be horrible.
We kind of saw it coming, but then we kind of like said, well, computers are turning to Windows, and we're going to lose these computers too, and we're going to lose the curbs and computers and everything.
So what I think you should do, sir, is you can follow up with Michael, Mr. Roble, our township administrator, and again, if there's something that we can do, and I think this is a very difficult situation. I recognize it's difficult for you, it's difficult for us with the standards that are in place as well. But if there's something that we can do to accommodate the areas where you'd like to walk, and there's some way, and I don't know this, but there's some way that we could assist you, make it easier for you to ambulate in those areas, we certainly would endeavor to do that. So if you can follow up with Mr. Roval tomorrow or whenever you'd like, just pull Borough Hall and we'll see what we can do.
Or if we could get your number.
I'll get your number before.
Why don't you give me, on the side.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Says things like, I don't really know something, because that's what I'm saying, she's like, two. Was to work every weekend? No. She really had it, of course. Yeah, because mom was somebody.
Anybody else like to be heard? Not? We'll move on. I have no comments there this evening, so, here. Have you
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Pasovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
Thank you, Peter. Paul?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, I just would report that we had our monthly public safety meeting tonight at 5:30. We normally have it the first Monday evening of the month, but it was Labor Day, we delayed it today. One point I would like to emphasize is that later this month, I think the chief will talk about it as well, when she has her opportunity, but on the 29th, on a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock at the Christ Episcopal Church, we will be having a community meeting that will put a spotlight on police and community relations. And at that time, the chief as well as a prosecutor from Essex County will take the floor and moderate a discussion about police and community relations. And probably worth noting that that was some discussion that we had earlier tonight, concerned residents. So we'd like to invite everyone out on September 29, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, Christ Episcopal Church. You can park at the Hillside Avenue parking lot. So,
That's in the gym.
or in the gym at the church. Mr. Mayor, I have one other item, simply resolution number 10916, dealing with a game of chess. Be it resolved that the Glen High School Home School Association be granted an off-premise merchandise raffle to be held on October 23 at the training center. Mr. Mayor, I move the resolution.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mark. Any comments on this? No. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes. Pasovich.
Aye.
Dawson.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
And that's all I have.
Okay, I have a brief report of Public Works and then a resolution. Preparation for the school opening on crosswalks and yellow curbs repainted to increase visibility. For the fall sports season, the parks crew has been laying out and painting the athletic fields. In regards to our street trees between Public Works and a contractor, Boulder Hill, almost 80 trees have been removed. We are able to coordinate with PSE&G and clear the trees interfering with power lines between Clay Field and the adjoining property. Our new multi-purpose truck and the new chipper, we were able to handle the majority of the removals in-house. Shade Tree Commission planted 116 trees this spring, and we're planting 100 more this fall. And with the trees that we're planting, if you get one put out in front of your house, try to keep it watered until it gets cold. We do come around with those bags and put them on, but if it stays dry like it's been, the new trees are at risk. So try to keep them watered. It's time to think about winter. Our mechanics have started inventorying our snow plows and parts. Over the summer, we took delivery of 2 new replacement trucks, 1 utility truck, and 1 mason dome. So we feel confident we'll be able to deal with winters as it is. We have salt in the salt shed, and we have brine in the brine tank to take care of that stuff. I'm pleased to report that the entire municipal complex is served by a standby generator. The generator was tested. The entire facility, including police, administration, and the library, ran on the generator for 30 minutes with no issues. Transfer from street power to generator power took 11 seconds. Having the entire complex on a backup generator will be a tremendous asset in the event of a widespread power outage. So this building then will be a warming center if need be in the winter time if we do have a big outage. The next step will be to get the public works yard on the smaller generator that's located by the police station now. We're going to move that down there and then have the town yard on that generator. So even with the additional resolution number 110-16. Borough of Glen Ridge desires to apply for and obtain a grant from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for approximately $44,881 to carry out a project for recovery activities undertaken in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy. So, Borough of Glen Ridge does hereby authorize the application for such a grant, recognizes and accepts that the department may offer a lesser or greater amount, and therefore upon receipt of the grant, will deal with it appropriately. So, it's signed, is people, for the appropriate people to sign it and submit it. So, Mr. Mayor, I offer the resolution number 110-16.
Yes. Is this correct? Yes, it is. What has occurred after Superstorm Sandy, 90% of our cleanup and repair costs were covered by FEMA. Additional funding to match the 10% that we spent has been developed through the Department of Community Affairs. So what we're doing is applying for basically the 10% that we spend in debris removal and some capital replacement. So this is not fully 10% of what we spent, but it's a good chunk of it. So this is just another opportunity for a grant. And going back to what Councilperson Dawson said, 92.5% of the generator costs were covered by FEMA. So we're doing very well with the FEMA reimbursements.
The reason I asked you 110-16 is this one is a resolution that Council of Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh, no, that was taken off. Yeah.
So the same number,
You know what it is? This was the last that was withdrawn.
Yeah.
I want to make sure.
Yes, it's second.
Can I get a second on that resolution? Second. Thank you. Any comments, questions? If not, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Hughes.
Aye.
Wasovich.
Aye.
Dawson. Murphy.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. The resolution is approved.
That concludes my report.
Mr. Mayor, I have no formal report this evening, just to say the Cutter Park will be open and in business at the end of this week. The field's grass is growing and it looks beautiful.
Fantastic. Yeah,
And
good work.
well, yeah, we had to do a little crabgrass remediation and planting, but that's seeds are germinating and it's turning a different shade of green, which will match the inside.
Mr. Mayor, I have no formal report, but I will just give a brief update on Mountainside School of Nursing. At this point in the process, we are waiting for the property owners to designate a redeveloper for the project, and once that's been done and is presented to council, we can move on to site plan. But at this point, we are waiting on that designation of the redeveloper. And I have nothing else.
Mr. Mayor, I have no report this evening.
Lisovich has a resolution number 11.
He did that.
You did that?
Yeah,
Never mind.
that was the game of chance.
No, it's
we have a
Friday
game.
Night Jazz.
Oh,
We need the chief's report first. Yes.
oh, this.
One of the things I did want to mention is that on September 29th, in addition to the commissioner asking that we're having a community meeting at the Christ Church, we're also going to launch our project Medicine Drop. It's something you've been waiting for a long time. We'll actually have what looks like a mailbox right at the police desk as you walk into 300 Street, it's open 24/7, 365, and we're really encouraging all residents to drop off any old, expired, unwanted, and needed medicine. Right at the police department, we're also going to have a mobile component, and we're going to bring it to the community meeting that night. Just pull a long way forward. We usually do this once a year. We find that it's a big need in town, people to get rid of medication, not to be flushing it, not to be leaving it in your home. So not only will it be at headquarters 24/7, effective September 29th, we'll also have the mobile to bring to meetings that we go to, and community events.
Thanks.
Is there any new unfinished business?
Yes, Councilperson Wasovich has a resolution for social affairs permit.
Thank you, Councilperson.
Good job.
When I printed out my agenda last Friday, I didn't have this.
Just came in this morning, Council.
This is regarding Women's Club Social Affair. Apparently, it will be a Women's Club Friday Jazz. So I have resolution number 11116, be resolved that the mayor and council approve
second it. They did a dance.
Good job. Good.
Okay, Councilperson Hughes? Pasovich? Dawson? Murphy? Morrow?
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, the resolution is approved.
This is the time for the public to be heard. Council would like to be heard on any issue. Seeing none, I believe we got a motion. Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Adjourn.
Thank you. Thank you. It's Paul Byrne. It's Paul Byrne is going to be, do you know him? He's going to be doing the jazz. He's really good. Yes. You should go.
But it's so nice that you live in town.
Yeah, it's great that you live in town too. Welcome.
I know an address. 100, beautiful spot. Smell the cold every morning, 4 a.m. is when it starts, right?